It mutes itself by itself. Then all of a sudden it mutes itself. I don't know what to do that while we're talking.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Good evening.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome back. Yeah, that was me muting you.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, because I kept hearing, we was hearing the reverb, we hearing the music coming back.
Oh, sorry.
We was having a pretty good laugh about it too. You're like, why did you?
Let's keep muting this. I'll mute this. I'll mute this thing.
Okay.
Hey, folks, how y'all doing?
Hi there. How are you?
Yeah. So we'll continue with this conversation last week. Critical relationship theory, and I wanted to have representation. I had some other. Well, he's supposed to have his daughter. He was not a responsible gentleman.
Right. Yeah, I was procrastinating. Waited to the last minute, and she got booked. She got booked by her kids before we could book her.
Kids before us. We ain't nobody.
That's definitely on me. I waited to the last minute to invite. So, but my apologies, everyone.
Trying to think how I want to start this. This is how it started, okay? Because we're talking about, I wanted to have a woman representation here because we're talking about women,
right?
Like we try to do all the time on this show when we do have these type of topics. And unfortunately, in the space we're in now, if a man says anything about a woman, he's automatically attacked.
He's bashing.
He's bashing women. He doesn't love black women. He don't like black women. His mom this, that, the other. He's gay and all this other stuff. So before we get to that, anybody sees, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start it like this. Yvonne.
Yes.
Do you think I have any contempt for black women?
Do I think who? You?
Have any contempt for black women?
You.
Me. Mm-hmm.
Well, all I can speak of is how you react to me. Mm-hmm. And in some of our conversations, I have not seen that. But of course, I'm quite sure you would always represent yourself to me in a respectful way where I can say I had not seen that. And I'm glad. I appreciate it because we don't want to have a back-to-back. You know what I mean? We don't want
that type of situation going on.
Too many doors open on that. How am I going to say no?
Yeah, we don't want this to do. Hey,
well, Eric, I can only speak how he has always represented himself to me or in front of me or during our conversations.
We're going to assume he's always that way.
Well, I mean, we have somebody else that's been knowing me for a long time. Hey, Ashley on there. She's in the comments, down in the comments. Ashley on Black Girl Interrupted. She wasn't able to be on the show, but she's still in the comments. Hey, Ash, hey, throw a quick comment up there about, do you think I have contempt for black women or I disrespect black women? And how long you been knowing me? And Dr. Toya is supposed to be here. I tagged her, but I don't think she's here yet. So, and I've been knowing Dr. Toya for about 20 years. So, and she's like, she can speak on my mental state. She's actually.
Did she study you or she?
She worked. I worked with her for about 7 years. So I mean, she knows me. Yeah, she knows I'm unstable.
And all your contempt.
Yeah, all my contempt I have for women.
All right.
She probably. I see her here, but anyway. But I just wanted to get that out the way. She'll comment later. But anyway, because like I said, in the space we're at, you men, it's already men bashing women when they start talking about women, and it might,
But I'm gonna jump in real quick, and it is, because the topic is women tonight. We can say that, but in general, it's whenever you say something negative about anybody of any whatever, it's considered bashing. You can no longer tell the truth if the truth applies. You know, it's always bashing if it comes off in a negative light. And unfortunately, that's just way. Some things are just negative. You know, some things. You know, we all have flaws that we need to work on.
I agree with that.
Whatever.
No, I'm not saying that actually that anybody said that. I'm saying I'm trying to, you know, jump in there before, you know, we start this conversation, you know, because it might trigger some people at some parts of conversation. So before, you know, it gets to they feel like I'm bashing black women and I don't like black women. I just want you to attest to how long you've been knowing me and have you ever witnessed me act any kind of other way towards black women that might be deemed negative, demeaning. Not my mental state. That's in question. We don't have the doctor on here, so we can't talk about that. But anyway, yeah. So the title. I'm gonna go to tell you why the title, what the title came from. She can do bad by herself. So, being that I'm a black man, right? Being a black man, it sounds bad. It sounds bad. She can do bad by herself. You know, it sounds negative. But I was doing the video for this. Pulling up pictures and stuff and trying to formulate everything what I was gonna do, and I got inspired.
Oh,
yeah, I got inspired. I got inspired. I got inspired.
Okay.
Hold on one sec. If you Ashley said, I think some women aren't ready for the types of conversation you seem to have. Yeah, they might not be. Ladies, if y'all want to, y'all could go get a sip of wine. You know, get some wine and stuff. You know, yeah. You know, that's gonna help out.
I might not stay on this podcast if I take a sip.
Some people need to be triggered, Ashley said. Okay, so I'm gonna go into like the video I put up. So I was looking for black women that were kind of influential figures throughout history. We got to start off with Harriet Tubman, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had it not been for Harriet Tubman,
yeah,
we might not be here right now doing what we're doing. Some say that she did bad, right?
Yeah,
so,
I've seen that in the recent history. Yeah.
So this is where the impetus was for this, right? Women that actually they looked at her doing bad, so she could do bad by herself. That was by herself. She did bad, according to society, right?
Okay.
That was Harriet Tubman. The next one was Sojourner Truth. I don't know. Hey, do you know about Sojourner Truth, Yvonne?
I know she was in the movie. What was her
Sojourner.
main?
I'm sorry, Sojourner Truth. I'm sorry, not Sojourner. Sojourner.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember the exact thing, baby. Well, I know she was when you were showing the pictures. I said, "Oh wow, he got some dynamite black women, you know, that have come." Hey, what was it? What did Sojourner do? I forgot.
Sojourner.
Sojourner Truth.
Well, if you're talking about the
as far as the black
that did the what do you call it, the Underground Railroad.
That was not Sojourner.
Yeah, we don't want. It was Harriet Tubman. That was Harriet.
Look, talking about from the old days. Guess what he said?
Well,
is that some kind of rapper?
No, not a rapper. No.
Not her, baby. Okay. I know she was women's right. That's what she was.
So what she did, I'm gonna have. I got Eric here as my backup to fact check. Right. So what she did, she was the first black woman to go to court and fight for the rights for her children.
Right.
Okay. Is that correct?
Hadn't got there yet, but
this black woman. Yes, that's very true, Willie.
That's true.
That's very true. In 1826.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you for the date. 1826. She actually won that. And in doing so, I think she met the president and everything, you know.
Okay. Now, what exactly did she do? She went to court and
fought for the rights for her kids to get.
Right. She was an American abolitionist and a woman's right activist. Truth was born into slavery, but she escaped with her infant daughter to freedom in 1826 after going to court to recover her son in 1828. She became the first black woman to win such a case against a white man.
So this is the first one, ladies. You got her to thank for your paternity cases and stuff going to court when y'all go to, get y'all little child support and everything.
Maury.
You know, and your Maury and all this. You got other things. Sojourner Truth.
That's true.
So following her, I came with
Yeah, you did. You had some good ones.
look up Bessie Coleman. And I could tell you real brief that she was the first American African American pilot.
That's right.
First African American pilot.
American civil aviator.
Mhm.
That's right.
Now, where did she fly? Or was she part of?
Let's see. She earned her license in
Civil.
June of 1921. And she was the first Black person to earn an international pilot license.
Yeah, the first Black person, period. So she was the
Mhm.
first
Wow.
Black woman, but she was the first Black person
Mhm.
to hold a pilot license.
Right.
So, you know, she wasn't supposed to be doing this at this time, right?
Exactly.
So she did bad by herself.
She probably had some
Yeah.
bread.
Yeah.
Flying planes. She was
make
being
money.
uppity.
She was hot, mile
She's
high.
a pretty woman too.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Mhm.
After that, I had Ida B. Wells.
Mhm.
Ida was a Miss Wells was she was an author, I think.
She was a journalist.
She was
a
a journalist.
journalist.
She was a journalist. I'm sorry.
Journalist,
She was a journalist, yeah.
educator, early leader in the civil rights movement.
There you go.
Civil rights movement.
Oh, she was one of the first founders of the NAACP too. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Really? Ida B. Wells.
Ida B. Wells. So for people that don't know it, these ladies that don't know it, that's what she did.
For me, who I don't know it, so yeah, this is a learning opportunity for me as well. Because I heard these names, but I wasn't sure what was all involved.
So
they were major movements for blacks and Black women. Put it like that.
Black women as a whole.
Yeah. Right.
And these were movements before the feminine movement, the feminist movement.
Right.
So
1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah, 1800. This is before he even jumped off. Really, we had this going on, in the Black community. So we get to Rosa Parks. Everybody knows what Rosa Parks did.
Yeah.
But something that a lot of people might not know, that Rosa Parks was not the first woman.
Oh no.
To not get up for the seat.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first person. I mean,
it's the woman. No, it was actually a young girl. I think she was about 16 years old. Cannot call her name. Y'all look it up. Y'all Google it. Everybody got Google. But there's a first person, a young girl. The reason why she wasn't the face of the movement because she didn't hold her composure. She spit at the bus driver and kicked the bus driver, something like that.
Oh yeah, she being all kind
of she got belligerent.
Yeah, but another reason that Rosa Parks, hopefully I don't mess up history too bad, but another reason she was able to get a spotlight shine on her is because was it a family member that worked for the press? I'm trying to.
She was in high esteem or something because she had good family. Her dad did something.
She had some reach. She had a little reach. She had some notoriety and was able to get that brought up to the forefront. So you got to use every tool you have in your bag. To overcome.
Excuse me.
So now I think this is something that you might be really familiar on, Yvonne. Ruby Bridges. You know who that is?
When I saw that name, I remember it, but I couldn't remember what she really did.
The first person.
Oh, okay.
To integrate schools
in Louisiana. Yes,
Louisiana.
yes.
First person to integrate schools.
Yeah.
It happened in Louisiana.
Oh, in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had to have government. I don't know if it was FBI or somebody, whoever it was at the time.
Yes,
they had to come escort her to school. She had a first Black woman with a police with a escort.
That was in the 1960s.
Yep, 1960s. 62, right?
No, it says 60.
It's 60. Okay, all right, cool. 1960.
1960. She's 67 years old this year.
Really?
Yep.
67.
I'm gonna throw out a little fun fact. My mom was the first person to integrate a school in the city of Asheville, North Carolina. I couldn't give you the year. I'm gonna tell her age though. She's 73 or 74. When she went to a Catholic school.
So that was the 60s too. That was
it was the 60s, and she was the first person to integrate in that city. If I'm not mistaken, might have been in the state. I don't know, but she was the first person to integrate a school there. I was like, oh,
Yeah, this was
created history.
due to her passing the test that the Supreme Court had required several of them to take. That's the only way they were able to go to the white school. And she was one of them.
Make sure they wasn't talking Ebonics when they come up in there.
Speak the language.
Can you speak King's English?
Yeah.
So
and
we
she
have
did that when she was in kindergarten. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, she was young. I didn't
Yes,
know
I knew she was young.
I thought it's second grade. I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, kindergarten is what it said.
So she and I guess the least grade. I guess they want to.
It's probably easier to get in there at a younger age. You get them in there with some high schoolers. You're gonna hear and experience quite a
bunch of N words and
but that could scare a child at that age really bad.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
So she was
about, like the type of racism that.
Yeah, she went over and she talked about what she experienced, but she made it through. She lived long enough to give birth to me and raise me a certain way, Catholic.
Yeah,
but yeah, we talked about that. That was pretty interesting.
That's good.
So the next lady is Audrey Lord. So Audrey Lord is
I don't know her.
Which is it?
I don't remember her.
Yeah, most people don't. So
she's an author.
She was an author. She's a powerful voice for the poetry. She wrote poetry and exploring the female identity of life as a Black lesbian. So she was the first Black lesbian, open lesbian that
I didn't know that either.
That wrote about it. And so the beginning of my video, I took a quote from her, which we refer to as was an intersectionality quote. Basically, she said, "It is not a difference that divides us; it's our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." I think that.
I wonder what year that was. She wrote that.
I want to say that's probably in the 60s, late 60s. Because I know this was like before the feminist movement. They joined the feminist movement, or right around the same time. So I want to say it's the late 60s. But
she died young. She died at 58. She was a young woman.
I'm not gonna make a joke about that. I'm gonna pass on. The next lady.
Okay, I thought it was just me. But let's go.
No, I'm gonna pass on. Don't do that. The next lady was Bell Hooks. Now we're getting to the meat of this discussion. Bell Hooks, she was another author for social activism. She wrote about oppression, women's rights, and race. The most notable works included Ain't I a Woman and Black Women and Feminism, Black Women and Feminism, and the Feminist Theory, in which she declared feminism is a movement that ends sexism, sexist exploitation, and oppression. So this was before even, okay, no. I've been knowing you for about 9 years, and I know you attend of your conversations about women. Okay. And with that said, she gave me my validation, right? So I'm saying all this. That was all to say that I have no ill will, no bad intent when it comes to women or Black women specifically.
Black women.
Yes, I love Black women. My mama Black.
Your mama Black.
With that being said, I want to say I am a feminist, right?
Okay.
And women, you can't be a feminist or whatever. Look what the definition of feminism for me and tell them what the definition of feminist is.
This is something I can do. I can read a little bit, and I know.
Tell them what the definition of feminist is.
Let's see. Feminist, a person who supports feminism.
Now look up feminism and tell them what feminism means.
All right, feminism. Let's see here. The advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
So
to advocate for women's rights based on being equal sexes.
Being equal. So I believe women should be equal.
Right.
I don't like groups like the movements. I don't like the movements because, like I said, get commandeered, whatever. So based on this, ladies, I'm coming to you in good faith. I'm a feminist because I believe in equal rights.
Oh man, this
I believe y'all should be equal.
out here, white knight just going overboard.
White knight and simping.
Going overboard. Got the
But-
fist up there.
You know, hey, I believe y'all we should be equal. So at this point, we can get into the meat of this conversation, knowing that I have good faith in what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Like I said, these ladies, this is before the black ladies joined, black women joined the white feminist movement. 1 second, please.
You said before
they joined the white feminist movement.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna talk about the players of the white feminist movement. Damn it, let me blow this up. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me blow it up a little bit. I don't have what I need. There we go. So some technical difficulties.
That's all right.
All right. So the white feminist movement was started by this lady here.
And who is she?
If can y'all see that?
I see it, but the words are a little blurry.
Okay.
That might be because of
Betty
my
Friedan.
eyes.
Okay, yeah, and I don't have glasses on, nothing like that. I am over 40. In my 40s, some 40-ish. The feminist movement was not rigidly structured or led by any single figure or group. As one feminist wrote, the women's movement is a non-hierarchical one. It does things collectively and experimentally. In fact, the movement was deeply divided between young and old, upper class and lower middle class, conservative and radical. Betty Friedan is this woman, was determined to make the movement a respectable part of mainstream society and distance herself from what she termed the bra burning. And this, I'm sorry, this is not the start. This is not who started the actual feminist movement way back, because it started way before this. But when it started becoming popular, during our time, Yvonne, during your time, was determined to make the movement a respectable part of mainstream society, and distance herself from what she termed the bra-burning, anti-man politics of orgasm, school of feminism, the anti-man bringing. So this is before there was the whole men ain't
right.
There we go. So also there's a young feminist leader named Gloria Steinem. You know her? You heard of her, Yvonne?
The name. I
Gloria
can't
Steinem.
remember all that stuff now.
So Gloria Steinem was the and there's a good movie called Glorious. It came out last year, I want to say. Talks about Gloria Steinem. But anyway, Gloria Steinem, she told that had links to the CIA.
Okay.
And it's documented. She had links to CIA. She was kind of like an informant. And that's who was actually the face of the movement. She had a magazine called MS Magazine. I think she did stuff with Cosmopolitan. Like they
This is the Gloria we're talking about.
Gloria, yeah, I see that.
That was the actual face of the movement.
I remember her back in the day.
Yeah, that was because she looked, this lady, the one that that lady, she was older. She didn't look so photogenic. Gloria Steinem was the young Vogue modelesque looking. So so they were saying many of the women were that joined the movement were relegated to low-paying clerical and administrative work, but opened the door for women to pursue professional careers with access to from the pill. So they're talking about what happened during that movement. It was they invented the birth control pill.
Oh, okay.
So
who did that?
Well, doctors did, but they were pushing for this to happen. And the reason why they were doing this is because with the pill, and it's just two fun facts. So, well, one thing I think some people might know with the pill is because they were going for equal pay, the whole wage gap thing. So the reason they said they wasn't giving women equal pay because they might get pregnant and they might not, be able to work. So with the pill, it was women were able to ask for equal pay because we can get on this pill by mouth and also not be out of work. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, so she was okay. I see what you're saying. All right.
Tell me what that is, Ashley. Claudette Colvin. I'm not sure who that Colvin. I'm not sure who that is.
Oh, I
But
looked that person up earlier.
Claudette Colvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably up in there. But so the other fun fact is that the reason why they want the
There she
pill,
is.
right?
Oh, she's the nurse. Okay, yeah. I did look this up
Oh,
earlier.
with the pill. Okay, the pill.
Well, I don't know if she was with the pill yet.
In New Orleans. Hey, you got you.
Actually, get on here.
Nah, it just. I mean, I don't know in New Orleans, but anyway, so the other reason for the pill, right, that they fought for the pill, um, let's see, I'm gonna be properly. I'm gonna be correct with this. So I'm gonna be, yeah. So it was to help break down the double standard that allowed premarital sex for men, but prohibited for women. Okay. So that's the other reason for the pill that they want the pill, because they wanted to. Pregnancy. Yeah, they avoid pregnancy. They want the fight to November 14th, 1960. Can you look up Colvin? Because let me see. Claudette Colvin.
She was a nurse's aide. She was the other person you was talking about who refused to give her seat up.
Okay. There you go. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you. Claudette Colvin. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, refused to give us seat up.
At the age of 15.
15. I thought she said. Correct.
She refused
Thank you. Appreciate
to
you,
give her seat up to a white woman.
Yeah.
On a crowded bus.
Yeah, she spit.
She's still living, y'all. She's 82 in Montgomery now. Well, that's where she was originally anyway.
Montgomery, Alabama.
You don't want these hands. That's what. Yeah. But yeah, Ruby Bridges was escorted by the federal marshals. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley with the fun facts coming in here. But yeah, so this is what I'm about to say about this. Like, now that I cleared, I'm a feminist, y'all. Just want to say about this whole thing. The black people, we've talked about that we were experimenting in this country, right? Experiment in this country, things that they do in this community, they sit back, do things, and they realize that, okay, we're gonna see what make them work and everything else. This sexual liberation movement is one of the movements that when they try to talk about why there's so many single mothers, black men have left, whatever, the sexual liberation movement is one of the reasons why.
Absolutely.
That's one of the reasons why. And that's before we get into the feminist movement, but it's one of the reasons why. When there's no morals, when you undermine the morals of the community, Yvonne, you could speak to this. Back in the 60s, morally, how do you think we were back in the 60s?
We were?
Yeah, the black community, not you.
What do you mean? I'm black.
I know. No, I'm saying not you. The morals of you. I'm saying the morals of the people. We the people.
Your peers, everybody else, not you. We gonna.
For the most part.
Okay, to me, back in the day, the morals. We had families that had high moral standards, but the majority of, and I'm sorry, but the majority of the men back then, they always, well, I'm gonna put it like this: the ones that I knew, and definitely my brothers. Okay, so that's who I can speak of, because my daddy died early. But they always had more than one woman. I'm sorry, that's true.
Why do you think that is?
Why do I think it is? Well, my husband always reminded me that back in slavery time, and I think we talked about this on the last show.
Touched on it.
Yeah, that the master had you as a male there to produce more slaves, and you would leave and go down the road and produce more slaves. So you, it was no commitment to one individual during slavery time, and people use that as an excuse. Well, I ain't gonna say use it as an excuse, but he reminded me of that. And in the 60s, no joke, like I said, I can speak for me and my family,
Mhm.
most of the men in my family were not committed to one individual.
Mhm.
And you had, and it was one of those things back then is you do as I say because I'm the breadwinner. And at that time in my family,
Mhm.
the women were not working. They were literally staying home to take care of the household and the children back then.
Mhm.
Mine. Okay. So they had to do what the males say do, regardless to what he was doing out in the street. He was the breadwinner.
Mhm.
So to me, morally, as a female, I looked at that as being so wrong
Mhm.
because, and I know you guys may not agree with me,
Mhm.
but I am the type of person, I think, because of what I saw when I was growing up. I do believe that one man and one woman can be committed to each other. That's
Mhm.
my belief. That is what we have lived for 30 some years,
Mhm.
my husband and I, because that's one thing I personally will just not tolerate.
Mhm.
That's it. So morally, back then, uh, there wasn't any.
Well,
Put it
okay,
like
so I mean, I let you speak, but I really wasn't talking about like
that
I'm in
part.
the community. Yeah, I wasn't
Just
talking.
Well, you should
So
have cut me off.
yeah, no, I'm no, I let you finish because I
Yeah,
mean it was what you experienced. That was your experience. But
yeah.
what I meant about our community, right? Because we
Okay.
have in this community now, you know, you've seen a couple. I mean, you've seen a couple generations, right? You've
Yeah.
seen your mother's generation,
Right.
you've seen your generation, you've seen our generation, and now you've seen the next generation.
Right.
I mean, with the community itself, like the way women carry themselves, the way men carry themselves.
Okay.
That's what I mean. You know?
Back then, okay, you asked me about the 60s.
Yeah.
I think the women back then carried themselves morally better than the women today. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
we're,
Mhm.
we're gonna say
Be-
morally upright.
no, I wasn't gonna say I'm right there.
No, that's what I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
I'm saying that. That's me.
But I mean, to me, they cared more about their personal respect.
Mhm.
That's the way I look at it.
Mhm.
Because when we were coming up, I can't remember what year it was, but you know, hot pants didn't come in till, let me see, at the end of the 60s.
Mhm.
So, you know, we weren't showing our legs like that. You know, I'm just saying,
Let,
morally
That's
speaking.
that's with the sexual revolution
let me jump
when
in
it
here right
started.
quick, Yvonne. Explain to
Yeah.
the people what hot pants are, just for those that are a little younger. Explain the hot pants phenomenon.
Hot pants was shorts that was short, not like, well, they weren't really Daisy Dukes when
Mhm.
they first came out, but y'all, everybody know what Daisy Dukes
Mhm.
are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So hot pants was before Daisy Duke.
That's right.
Yeah,
Hot pants
everything
was
ain't nothing
before
new under the
Daisy
sun.
Duke.
You know, they start off somewhere and we just keep going revamping and
They
going back
came
to.
up, they came way up over half the thigh, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you
But then, you know, as time moved on, then it became Daisy Dukes. And now, oh God, I don't know what to call it. All the tubes
they
hanging out now.
got the CCs on. I'm gonna call it the CCs,
So
but go ahead.
so how like the men did men treat women with respect as far as out and open? I'm not saying dating and
In
the
the
you know
household, yeah.
the two women and all that. I'm saying outside it. I'm saying like in the street when they see a woman in the street.
Yeah.
Was it a respect? Did you see them respect women?
To me,
Right.
yes. Because back then, a man will look and sometimes they may whistle,
Mhm.
but whatever they said at that time, it was more respectful than what I see today.
Mhm.
Yes, it's more respectful than what I see today because back then they would ask rather than just yell at you like a lot of men do, they may whistle, you know. But today, from what I've seen out in public, the men just don't respect the young ladies. But again, to me,
Mhm.
and this is what I have tried to tell my girls
Mhm.
that's related to me or my granddaughters,
Mhm.
if a man see that you're respecting yourself or you demand respect, then he'll
Mhm.
respect you. And that's just the way I believe that. I really do, because I don't allow men to curse in front of me. It's just one of those things. I've never allowed that. I mean, if it's someone in my immediate, surrounding. Now, you out in the public, okay, I can't control you.
Right.
But you have to be able to, you have to show respect for yourself in order to receive it from a man. And that's just the way I was raised.
Oh, so okay. So what you saying that I wanna say a statement that's been said, and I
Okay.
want to find out if you think this is true. Um, the moral standings of a community is only as strong or as high as the woman of that community.
I have to say, I agree. But today, it takes both. It takes both. But to me, the woman sets a higher standard.
Okay. And I'm gonna. You had something to say now?
No, I was just gonna say the woman sets the standard.
Yeah, sets the standard.
She sets the standard.
Yeah.
So okay. So what I want to say to that is it's very important, and the reason I brought that up because like I've had conversations like why men can't do it or whatever. Yeah, men should do it, but it's very important that a woman do it because women are the first teachers of kids. They're the
That's
first
right.
teachers of kids.
That's
So
right.
usually when I have this conversation, like, the reason why, and it's debates, I have debates all the time, Facebook and different platforms. And it's like the reason why I feel that we're kind of here where we are is because two reasons. We had movements that separated us, and women started wanting to be liberated. They didn't want to be told anything about how they dressed in the community, how they looked. They wanted to be free of anybody telling them anything. So that undermined the moral structure of our the standing in our community. Like you said, if they don't seem to respect themselves, how's a man supposed to respect a woman if she's not respecting herself?
That's right.
But
they don't look at that though. They look at, I'm hanging this out or that out. I'm not giving the men any imagination of what's not shown to me. This is me talking now.
No, go ahead. You don't have to. Hey, you don't have to put no more modifiers because
Yeah.
this is your opinion, and
Right.
also you've seen more than us. So
Yeah.
And we're men, and I don't want to be mansplaining up here, and be like, you're mansplaining. No, you're talking. You're speaking now.
And now, to me, they just showing it all, and not even giving you guys an opportunity to wonder what else. You understand? That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
And let me get to this too.
Go ahead.
I know you guys, I know the rap came all in and all this kind of stuff. I still don't understand it. I still don't listen to it. But when they started making all the music, calling women all sorts of names, it looked like the respect for women went down even further because the men felt like, oh, if they like that song, that I don't even know who made them, but I just know they were out there calling women the W's and the B's and all this kind of stuff. Then it's okay for me since she liked that. You understand? And I really think respect for women went down tremendously when the guys start making that kind of music and everybody was chiming in on it and stuff like that. That really was not good. I thought that was so disrespectful to the women. And because I even talked to like I said, my grandgirls, letting them know, don't listen to that because you do not want to be disrespected in that way. Now, what they did outside of being with me, that I don't know because they were teenagers at the time. But to me, it just degraded women so badly for them to start doing that. And then I think someone brought it to the nation's attention. And then some of the people start making mentioning of things to stop doing it. I thought that was great.
Right. And I'm gonna agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
The I'm gonna call it the culture,
Yeah.
rap culture or whatever.
Right.
I think that is where we saw a big turning point in far as how we view women, how
Exactly.
women were respected. But I
Yeah.
think the key to that, when I said earlier, like I said, women set the standards. The key to that was when, I'm gonna use one of Donald Trump terms. That was, men always had locker room talk. We talked a certain way amongst men.
Okay,
But
excuse.
right, but when the turning point for that was when the women started singing along with all these songs. When
That's
they became okay with it,
Yeah.
then it
opened the doors.
It opened the door.
yes, and that's what I said. Yeah.
Because men gonna be men, women gonna be women. But when they said, "All right, I like that song too," they playing it on the radio because they scratch it out or whatever.
No, women buy more rap music. Yeah, they're the ones that consume it.
Absolutely,
buy it more than men.
But for me, to me, that was the turning point because I grew up in that
era,
in that culture. Yeah, in that
Yeah.
era. I tell my kids all the time. I say this is going to be the first generation where the parents and the children are
doing
into the same thing when it comes to music, even out the way we dress, everything. The parents and the children are doing almost the exact same thing. This is the first time, and I think that's going to be a sticky situation.
Yeah.
No, we see it with the lack of respect. Like I said, that's why
you took the words out of my mouth.
How they how we respected each other in the community back then.
Yeah.
And like I said, the turning point of that, y'all. Well, I think it was so. I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna put this a little bit. The reason why that happened because of the crack epidemic, right? Because when you had crack, you had the community was just in disarray. It just destroyed the community. So the next thing that made money was rappers. So if you ain't doing crack, now we gotta have something else. Rappers making money, so that's how they got popular. And they rapped about crack selling. They rapped about whatever what they saw in the hood, and everybody bought into
or what they experienced, and that's probably where a lot of the derogatory terms for women came from. Was the whole
for neighborhoods.
I'm not gonna put it all on crack. Crack did enough, but but when it became mainstream, when you could hear it on the radio, you could go to the store and buy it. I sound like an old man.
You sound like you your daddy.
But honestly, when it was that available, you could just get it at the reach of your fingertips. Then it changed everything. It was almost like a drug. It was being distributed amongst.
And then younger women started having kids, and because somebody sent me a picture. I don't know if it was you, Willie, or not, where they said this was grandma back in the day and this is grandma today. Young women. You know what I mean? So, and like you were saying, parents today are allowing kids to be so disrespectful. And one time I was in the store and somebody said something to their child, and she said, "Well, why not? What the H? You did it." Oh my God! Now the kids tell the parents, "You did it," so why I can't do it? It's just no respect in that. So no respect.
But we didn't got on a tangent,
I'm sorry.
No, that's not you. That's us. No, because we do that. So then I'm gonna pull back over. So it gets to that point because even in our community, we have so many things that we can bring out, and it would all be true. Talking about how we got, of course. But I want to go back to these ladies over here. So then I went to Angela Davis. Everybody is familiar with Angela Davis. She was a powerful speaker in the Black Panther Party.
Right.
She still speaks today. She's a doctor now.
Yeah, I saw that.
You check her out on YouTube. I watch her sometimes. And she also speaks about how the feminist movement, the white feminist movement, kind of undermine the community. There's another light-skinned young lady that people don't know, and she was on that people don't know about. Now I've seen her face, but I didn't know who she was. I've seen her several pictures, and I'm like, okay. I always thought that was Angela Davis because they both was rocking the fro.
Who was she?
Kathleen, Neal, Cleaver. For those that don't know, she was married to Eldridge Cleaver, who was
Oh yeah,
key
he was a
founder of
Panther as well.
Black Panthers. Yeah.
Yes.
So you'll see. One second. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull a picture up. That's what I'm gonna do. Hold on a second. But you'll see in a bunch of pictures, and it's like, she was a powerful speaker. Like she was actually the female face of the Black Panther Party. I don't know before she started messing with them, but she made her own place in the Black Panther Party. She was like their she dealt with all their events and stuff, and she put everything together, a lot of stuff together. She was behind the scenes. Let me the picture. This the picture.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, I mean you'll see her in all kind of pictures.
Wow, she's a professor of law. Okay.
She's a professor. Yes, she's a professor. So right, this sister wasn't soft. This sister wasn't soft. This, you know. Let me pull up another picture.
She got her gun. All right now.
Be able to handle the steel, you know.
So like she was like, you'll see her with it'll be just her and a bunch of Black Panthers around her. This is a picture right there.
Okay, I see it.
And that's what you'll see right there. I mean, I've seen several pictures like that with her, and I'm like, okay. At first, I thought it was Angela Davis. I'm like, okay. Then I started seeing these pictures. I'm like, wow.
They had them big froze.
Yep. Yeah, just black and just so black and militant. But yeah, so no, this is a powerful sister. This is before the feminist movement, right?
Yeah.
And this my point is that, you know, when I talk to Black women, we talk about debate about the feminist movement and when I say things like my dad was saying last week, right? Us integrating kind of damaged the Black community. I feel in the same way about, and I think a lot of men feel the same way about that study history, right? About how the women that left the Black Panther Party, Black Power movement, and went over to the feminist movement and chose to be lady and against, you know, against their own betterment. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Oh, that's Ashley said she was beautiful. Let me get back over here. This is a picture of her and Eldridge, right? And this is after what they had to do, and I'm gonna read this right here because I don't remember this, but I know they was on the run because Eldridge was wanted by the FBI.
Yeah.
When y'all want to talk about woman standing by a man, when they was, you know, idolizing or sitting there talking about what is it, Queen and Slim, that movie Queen and Slim, you know, no, this was the lady right here, right?
Yeah.
This is the lady. This is before the feminist movement, before, you know, we don't need the men and all this other stuff, right? She was a powerful voice in both movements, actually. Another picture I want to show. Where's that? Oh no, that's the picture here. So when y'all want to, you know, Black love and stuff. Oh, it didn't come up. My bad. Like this was what it was.
Yeah.
You'll see that picture right there.
Yeah.
Right? You'll see that picture right there.
Well, she knew he was fighting for something.
Yeah,
you know?
he was fighting for something. Yeah. So the topic, she can do bad by herself. There's 3 meanings. Yeah, she can do bad by herself. She can be a bad woman. She could be a bad woman and she could change something. She could do bad by herself. She could be all alone without without a man, and she could be doing bad. And Yvonne, can you tell me what the other version she could be doing bad by herself when a woman says it? Because this is a Louisiana thing, I think. Can you tell me what that means? Come on, go ahead.
Well,
when do women say that?
I've said it myself.
Okay, come on. Say it. Come
on. To me, when I was in between my marriages, I was in between for 12 years. I was a single person. And I had 2 kids to take care of. Their dad was a father that took care of what he needed to take care of for the first 2 years after we divorced. But then after that, it didn't happen. So being when I used to say I can do bad all by myself,
Mm-hmm.
that meant if a man was going to approach me
Mm-hmm.
and be a man in my life,
Mm-hmm.
he had to do the things that men do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's helped me when I needed helping. Definitely, it wasn't going to be me helping him when I had 2 kids to take care of. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was not the type of person that I saw that could step in and be a man, not, I'm not saying do everything for me, but be the
Mm-hmm.
man that he should be, that I expected him to be,
Mm-hmm.
then I have said that I can do bad all by myself. I don't need to have a tail on me or somebody who pulling me back.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not going to walk along with me,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it was. I didn't deal with men that were, how should I say, that didn't have jobs, or I didn't see where he complimented me.
Mm-hmm.
Put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't all about the money, because I got your daddy.
I am here. I am here.
Hey, Dad.
I am here.
Look, he talking
We
about
lied,
here.
Dad. Please don't. We don't.
Look here. He lied on the couch, Willie, but he sit up on that one.
You look, Ike Turner. You not on there talking about me. You don't talk about Ike. Ike help you. You don't help Ike.
Mute the mic.
But
Mute the mic. You know.
But that's why I've said that, and I've had some good people in my life, but that was the reason why I would say that. I wasn't going to go down. Let me put it like this. I had set a standard for myself, and I stayed at that standard when my first husband and I split and divorced. I intended to stay at that standard, and I wasn't going to let a man bring me down lower than where I was. If he couldn't help me, go along with me, or I saw a future that we could have, then I didn't need him. And that's the truth. That's the truth.
Okay, so this catchphrase, right? I've heard this catchphrase more than any other catchphrase.
Okay.
Coming up, being grown from
Right.
women, and how you explained it, right? It's part of it. It's part of how you explained it. But what happens is that, like when young girls hear their mother say it, and there's no man around, what it translates to them, and this is my interpretation of it.
Okay.
How I see women treating men, how growing up, how I saw women treating men. The translates is that men is no good. Black men in specifically is no good. I can do bad by myself, right? I don't need you.
Cause you bad. And you coming in here.
Yeah.
Oh.
So not talking about you, Vaughn. Let's take you out of. I'm talking past you, talking to everybody. This is part of our as men looking at women. When you're getting something like that, you hear something like that, certain things, men ain't whatever. I mean, women have defenses, men have defenses.
Yes.
So when you come to a woman and off top you're hearing stuff like this, you can't expect a man to want to jump over that hurdle because it's something that you have going on with you. Yeah. It's not and I'm getting off topic again because I wasn't talking about relationships, but it just came to me. But this is Ashley said that was passed down from generation to generation. Ashley's from New Orleans too, so she but yeah, so as a man hearing that, it automatically you have a wall up, like, okay, she don't really trust me, she don't care for me,
she don't know what
no, it is, I have no worth in her life.
Yeah.
So, and think about, and I'm teasing next week show, about son husbands. Think about a woman saying that, a boy hearing a woman say that about a male, another male, and he has to become a man. Think about how his mentality of just men in general become. So, Ashley said Black women were taught not to depend on men.
That's yes.
And I want to add something to it. Not
to
depend
a point,
on Black men. No, not to Black men. Black men specifically. Because remember, like you said, Yvonne, we come out of slavery. They depended on the white man. When it came to welfare, who they had to go to for that?
She want to join. Oh, okay.
You want to come on, Ash?
Yeah, she said she wanted to join.
Ashley, you want to come on? Let me know, because I'll send you the link. No, you got the link. If you got I gave you the link already. Just pop in. But so historically, when we got this country, they couldn't rely on black men. They couldn't.
Right.
We had no power. No power.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, like, black women don't understand when they see us as oppressors, especially during the 60s, right? When I hear women talk about black men left the household and whatever else, it's like, mentally, think about passed on from generation to generation where black men were mentally after seeing their women raped, seeing their children snatched from them, and you don't have that bond. You don't have that. So you pass this on to your next generation of kids. Hey, don't get, if I'm a father and I'm around my son, I'm telling little Jules that I've dealt with as a father, the white man is going to take everything from you. So don't get too comfortable now. So think about what kind of scars. Okay, next week, cool. I mean, if you want to do it on your show, Ashley, just hit me up and I'll come on. We'll talk about this next week, on your show. I'm sorry. You want to join the conversation? Cool. The son husbands. Cool. I got you. But just think about how a man would deal with that. His reality, right? His reality is that matter of fact, I got a video that I was supposed to do last week, and I'm gonna put it up. Think about the reality of a man knowing that he has no power. He cannot protect this woman. He can't do anything. And he's less than. He has a man right here that he's actually superior physically. He's more physically superior than this man, but he can't do anything. He can't do anything to protect his family. So think how demeaning that is. So this is a video I want to play.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
This is what a man had to deal with. That type of stuff.
Couldn't fight back.
He couldn't fight back. No, they would have killed that man.
Yeah. And he got a suit on. Ooh, yeah.
He had to accept.
But that's what they had to deal with.
They had to deal with all that. And we're talking about this. This is probably the 60s. This is probably the 50s.
Yeah.
But this is what they had to deal with.
with.
So when you come back and you let's, I know you're a woman, Yvonne. You've been a woman your whole life, but let's try to get you in the mind frame of a man, right? They have to go out in this world and fight that kind of foolishness, right? That kind of racism. Most of the time, where was the woman? The woman was at home, right?
Yeah, at home.
She was protected from most of that.
Yes. So
after you do this, Ashley said, and he deals with this in his home also. So after he deals with this, he comes home, right?
Yeah.
And he has to argue with his wife about stuff. And not saying it always happened. I'm just giving you a scenario. I'm not saying this happened in every house. So I'm giving you a scenario. But we have disagreements, right? He deals with the world, fights the world. Then he comes home. Now he has to deal with stuff at home, kids and this, that, the other, stress of the world on his back, bills or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
So, okay, like we said, this is 60s. Fast forward to the feminist movement. We've been dealing with this stuff as men. We've been marching with y'all. Everybody marched together. We got a common enemy. We're trying to fight to become equal with everybody. We're trying to get ourselves, our community, our kids and everything to a point where we're not looked down upon. We're not 3/5 human being anymore. We're able to do the same things everybody else do. We're fighting for something. And then the woman, black woman, go join the white women in a movement against their own men. Think about what kind of psychological. Go ahead.
Okay. I think they may have done that because, okay, let's go back to what you were saying. The man was treated out in the public and otherwise too, I guess, as if he wasn't anything. Not the 2/3 at the time, but
he was
nothing.
Yeah,
just like your movie, the video you showed. That man could come home willing because he could not take it out on those. That's the reason why a lot of the black women, I'm going to say, perhaps wanted to join the movement, because he would come home And like you say, he's already frustrated from the way he was treated. He's dominant in that home. And least little thing could actually tick him off, where he take all the frustration that he received out in the street out at home on the woman and the children. So to me, maybe that could be some of the reason why the women decided to choose the women's movement, because she did not want to be treated that way anymore. And those that were out in corporate or working wanted to receive, same pay, stuff like that. So you got to look at it both ways too.
I'm not. They deserve equal treatment. I'm not talking about the fact that women should be equal pay, being working and everything. I'm not speaking on that. I'm speaking on from a man's standpoint, mentally, right? Men are looking at it from a man's standpoint. We were in this together. Just last year, we was marching, holding hands, kumbaya. We will overcome, fight the power, all this other stuff, right? The next year, after they killed King, because this happened after they killed King, think about, so this is also, throw this in there, kill King, kill Malcolm X, killed a bunch of people in Black Panther Party, right? They're killing black men right and left at this point, 68, 69, whatever. Our women leaving now, right? Join the white women, which is, hold on, I had 1 second. I had something else. So, which is, and I understand what you're saying, right? That's what they thought they'd do. What I'm not doing right now, remember, y'all, I'm a feminist. What I'm not doing right now is blaming black women for this issue. What I'm doing is saying is I'm pointing out what happened. Like we know what people did, and I'm pointing out what happened that wasn't foreseen. Like whenever you have good people do things for good intentions,
right,
and you have bad outcomes. That's what I'm doing. Pointing out. I'm not attacking black women and saying black women shouldn't have did that. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just saying the outcomes. 1 second, let me get it. The outcome was unintended consequences.
Oh yeah. Well, really, that you could have that in anything you do.
Yeah.
Everything you do.
You can always try to go straight, but somebody is gonna sway.
But so, and my thing is like the whole thing, like it's. Hold on 1 second. So I was looking. I did. God damn it! This damn thing ain't working. Yeah, I did before I do these lives, whatever. I always do research. I want to, kind of put myself into whatever's going on, whatever I'm talking about.
Right.
So I'm researching all stuff, and all kind of stuff kept popping up. So I'm like, what kind of legislation happened because of the feminist movement in the black community? And man, this don't make no sense. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to do is read this because I can't see it. It keeps coming up on my screen. You know what? I'm gonna do it over here. 1 second. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. But
go ahead. You can talk while I'm pulling
some of the things needed to come up to make changes. Okay. Abuse is one thing. And I know people always see the women and the abuse, but there have been women who've abused their husbands too. So it was intended for, I'm gonna say it was intended for specifically the women at the time, but it also brought out that the men, there were men that were abused by their wives. And the children was being abused. They may have started out, like you said, Eric, one direction, but it ended up, turning to something else. Sometimes that's good. What was the other thing I wanted to say? I forgot now.
Let me read this real quick. So the thing, what I'm trying to say is right. Okay, so when everybody talks and when I debate and we talk about it, it's always, you know, and I understand. Like I said, I'm with women. Y'all need equality. We had the civil rights movement that also had that in it, that you know, no discrimination, sexes, race, you know, gender, whatever.
Right.
So it was addressed, as I pointed out previously. It was addressed already with the black sisters. I pointed out previously, like we were addressing that already. So, like I said, I was Googling stuff or reading a bunch of stuff, and it was like, you know, the women's movement did not succeed in finding equality, as the movement produced discrimination towards minority groups. So even though women joined the feminist movement, the black women joined the feminist movement, women of color, they were still a minority group. They didn't have a voice. They played second fiddle to the white women. The second wave feminist movement in the United States has been criticized for failing to acknowledge the struggles of women of color, and their voices were often silenced or ignored by white feminists. So, I mean, this is the thing that, like, black women don't understand, right? Yeah, I understand there was a struggle. We were in the struggle together, and I'm speaking now. I'm speaking from a man's standpoint, like men. You know, we were in a struggle together. Women left and went to the other struggle, sided with, you know, our common enemy. Because you remember, that was our enemy.
Yeah.
That was our enemy. And that's when I talk about this, women forget, they seem to forget that this was our enemy at the time.
Yeah.
That black women sided with. And then they got second fiddle in that. So what I want to point out is that point, the sexual liberation movement, it undermined. It's something that we don't talk about. We never talk about this, because if a black man talks about this, he's misogynistic, right? He's misogynist. He's a misogynist, and he hates women. But we can point out every place else, like we point out slavery, point out the effects of slavery. We can point out the negatives. We can point out the effects of us integrating and the negatives of that, right? King said, you know, he feared that he brought his people to burn a building. He saw at that point, he saw the effects that it was having. He saw the road we were going down. We've never looked at it from the road that we went down as far as how we split up. And this is why I say critical relationship theory. How we split up, how the black community split up, how the relationship between a man and woman was strained. You know, and I think this is the pivotal point. We talked about the music and stuff, but I'm saying I think this is a pivotal point to where we started seeing that strain coming into the 70s, to where
you destroyed the family, you destroyed all.
But that was what the white man wanted to do.
Exactly.
Go back to the Moynihan report. Go back to one second. There's something else I found. Like I said, I went down a rabbit hole. I found something. There was in Germany, there was a Frankfurt school, right? And it was what they did. They studied sociology and stuff of people and everything. This is 1937. So critical theory. That's what they studied. The critical theory. Look it up. Frankfurt School. And it was by Max. I can't even pronounce the name. I'm not gonna try. No, I'm not gonna try. But yeah, get my girl Farfanugan. So it was sociology is an experiment basically that they were doing over there. So we don't understand. We were always a project here. We were always something they studied. The Tuskegee experiment, right? Put syphilis in the community, give it to black men, and let them bring it back to the women, and let's see what it does to the community. We were always this.
Yes. Well, that's why they're still doing it to people in Africa now.
Oh yeah.
But you know, with that syphilis thing, see, I used to think they brought it into the community too, but these guys had it and they weren't treating them. They were pretending to treat them.
No. They administered
syphilis.
They administered syphilis. Go back, look.
You're gonna read it.
Okay. They administered syphilis. They did not treat it for 40 years.
They didn't treat
it. That's true.
For 40 years.
They didn't treat it, but
that was a whole study.
These guys had syphilis. They just didn't treat it. That's what it was. They pretended, well, not pretend, but they they acted as though they was treating it, but they weren't treating just to see what the outcomes would be in that.
But why was the only black men that had syphilis?
Because they're expendable.
Because it was an experiment, and who do they experiment on?
Even okay, let's say I'm wrong. Let's say I'm wrong. So even at that, it was nefarious. It was, even it don't matter if they gave it to them. That doesn't matter. The point that matters is that it was an experiment.
Yeah, they didn't give it to them. They just
cool.
They didn't heal them.
Okay, no, they didn't give it. Okay, cool. I'm wrong. The docs knew and didn't heal them. Okay, so they watched.
I thought it was an experiment they gave.
Well, yeah, but the experiment was they watched
to not treat them.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
to not treat them.
Yeah, and they sat back and watched them and see what they did to the families and everything else.
Yeah.
We were always experiment in this country, and come to the point where we got, we forget this, right? Yeah. We were just, like I said, the year before, we just fighting with each other. We each other fighting the common enemy, and you leave and go to the common enemy. How do you not become an enemy? And this is me as a man, and and I wasn't alive back then. I don't know, but I'm just saying from the mind, trying to put myself as a man back then, thinking like, okay, we were enemies. You don't go over to the enemy and side with the enemy against your own people, especially your men. You don't do it. And that, that's the thing I think, women don't understand when it comes to that time period. Henrietta Lacks, a black American woman, Steinem. Oh yeah. They still be used for genetic testing. Yes,
still
I heard.
Is.
Yeah,
and the family is trying to get. I wish they do go back and get every nickel.
They owe that family and other families so much money.
So much money.
Yeah, because so many things have been created because of that woman's DNA.
What
has
something significant about her DNA is why they continue to use it, or what was it?
I can't remember what it was, but it was something that was in her DNA.
It was
and I think it was
cancer, if I'm not mistaken.
It's cancer.
It was medication. Well, really now they found out it's from a lot of different things for a lot of different medications now. Yeah.
No. She was like the prototype they used to do a lot of this stuff.
But it was something special.
It was something special
in her bloodstream or DNA that caused them to be able to develop a whole lot of medicines.
And he said it too. It was something special about it. And I think it was self-replicating something. It was something special.
It was
it
did. That's it.
People, y'all take notes because we talk about stuff that like everybody, like we don't talk about this. We don't talk about these.
I'm ignorant on a lot of this.
No, it's majority of people. It's majority of people. Amen. They don't talk about these things.
It's the majority. That's true.
That don't sit here and think critically about our history. They don't think about this. They don't understand that. Like I said, we are people. Yeah, Henrietta Lacks. That's what you're talking about. We as a people, anybody is stronger together, but we still fighting amongst each other. We still, we got, like I said, men disrespecting women. However it started, don't matter. Don't matter how it started, but men disrespecting women. So people that's who they're supposed to protect. Mm-hmm. Supposed to protect women and children. We used to do that at one point.
Oh yeah,
we used to do that. And women looking at men like we're the enemy, like we left them, when that's factually incorrect. That's incorrect, and that's why I'm doing this critical theory, right? It's factually incorrect. And the thing about history, right? Think about history. If you teach yourself something based on a lie, everything else after that,
it's gonna be bad. Yeah, a lie pretty much.
In programming, right, is a term called trash in, trash out, right? Meaning if you put trash in, if you input something in that's trash, you can't get nothing else out but trash. Right. And that's why I'm doing this critical theory, right? Because what I hear people saying and we argue about stuff is factually incorrect. It's incorrect. The men didn't have a movement to leave the black woman. They didn't do it. No. They didn't do it.
They didn't have a movement, Willie, because they were already doing it.
They were already doing what?
As a whole, that's not true. As a whole,
I need some clarification. What were they?
I'm just go ahead.
It was, we were married like 70% back then. We were 70. We was married at a high rate back then. Yeah, we're married at a 20% rate right now. That's not true. Men didn't have a movement to leave black women. No, that's not happening. It happened. We mentioned all this last week. You mentioned stuff that aided that happening, but it was not a movement. The movement, the only movement that was had was women leaving the movement, the black movement. Not even, let's not even say the black men, because it just, to men it looked that way. But it was leaving the black community, choosing themselves over the black community, over struggling. And I understand it. Like I said, I'm not faulting women. I understand that nobody wants to struggle. So hey, if I could get your foot up off my back,
I'm laying fault. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
because you had men coming back from the war and stuff like that who was hooked on drugs.
Yep.
And the women was already, while they were away, they were already taking care of the kids, you know, and working two jobs, 3 jobs back then. And the love left when they came home and was hooked on drugs, because you know people who I have a brother who went to the Vietnam War area. I mean, during that time, he came back hooked on drugs, and you got to look at his wife was already taking care of 3 kids. Now she got to take care of him and the 3 kids. The women just got tired of that. I'm just using those type of examples.
No, because there was a lot of examples like that.
Yeah, a lot.
We're gonna, if we're gonna talk about stuff like, we're gonna talk about stuff that was prevalent, right?
Yeah.
And that was prevalent because the war happened. I told you, like, it was 300,000 African American men, black men, that went away to the war. So the thing with that is that, okay, they saw some stuff over there.
Yeah, it had an impact, but
they saw some stuff.
I know that was hard to deal with.
I said it.
No, there wasn't a majority, but think about 300,000 men, 300,000 families. How many other kids they had in between all that? Right. Or if they didn't have kids, these men were not viable, whatever, partners for women. That was just, you know, they had to fend for themselves.
I had 2 uncles.
Yeah.
And
and they were young. A lot of them was very young.
Yeah, 2 brothers. Yeah. Say it again, Yvonne. I'm sorry.
A lot of them was very young black men.
Very young.
Oh yeah.
They had
so
a lot to
they were
deal
no
with.
good to the community. Like I said,
a lot to deal with, and they got on the drugs just to cope. You know, just to cope. But I'm just saying that was a lot of it too. What I mentioned, and it just made the women feel like, okay, I've been doing it all these last 4 years or whatever. Now he's come back like this, and not only coming back from the war, being on drugs, but women just decided that they wanted to just, again, I can do bad all by myself.
And there you go. That's
okay.
That's it.
That's it.
But,
and so
no, I'd say this, right? Is it the black man's fault at that point that happened?
No.
We didn't have no power, and that's what I'm trying to get at. It's always we're the easiest people to attack, right? Black men are the easiest to attack when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, that's Yvonne. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
No, you good. You good.
How were you raised to be independent? Is that how your family raised you to not depend on anyone else?
No, I decided that when I was a teenager on my own.
Were you raised to be a wife? Were you taught young to be a wife and a mother?
Yes, because that was my mother. She didn't work in the beginning. She had to raise us, and that's why I'm number 8 out of the family, and none of my sisters. I had 1 brother before me, and 6 sisters. None of my sisters worked back then. They were always taking care of the family, Eric. And that's how I think I mentioned this last time. That's how I saw a lot of things happening to them, because they were at home taking the kids. They had nothing but what the man brought home when he brought it home. And that's when I saw physical and mental abuse from that I decided I would never, ever depend on a man to take care of me. So that came from me, Eric. I wasn't raised that way, but because of what I saw, experienced in my life, I decided I would never have to wait on a man to give me a nickel, and I stuck to that.
Right. I asked the question because I know for me, as a father, that's just what I teach my kids, son and daughter, to be self-sufficient if need be.
Right. There you go.
But see, the problem with that is we were brought on this earth to procreate, to bring to come together and multiply. And as a man, okay, fine, you're self-sufficient, but I'm not saying my daughter needs to sit back and depend on a man in order to make it in life. But in order for my generation to go on, for my son's generation to go on, they have to figure out a way to come together and to keep the race going, keep the name going, keep the legacy going. And it's when you I'm like you said, you weren't taught that way, but I had to check myself, because we were brought here to work together, not to be independent. Simple as that. That's the whole point of us being here, to work. And we always go back to nature, look at any other animals out there. They all work together to continue the production of whatever species that is. And that's something that we lost when we started talking this independence. And it sounds good, but that's one of those unintended consequences that you get out of that. You do get fracture in the family and in the community.
So let me bring out a point, because
I like what she said.
Was that?
I like the comment.
Oh, I'm gonna speak on that right. I'm gonna speak on that in a second. But what I want to say, right, since we thinking critically about that, something both y'all said. So the thing with when you say be independent, like you teach your daughter this, right? And you taught your daughter this, right, Yvonne?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so the thing is the difference, and I'm gonna say when you was not married, because you're married now. I'm saying when you were a single mother, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know Dad back there. You married now. Been married for how many years? How many years?
31.
31 years. 31 years. Okay, so there's a difference mentally, psychologically. There's a difference between him telling his daughter to be independent and single woman telling the daughter to be independent. Right. And I'm gonna explain this. The difference that when you have no man around and a woman's telling the daughter to be independent of a man, it looks like men are no good. Versus her seeing a man and she loves her father protects her, whatever, and he tells her that, and he was like, okay,
but she sees
she sees him actively doing something.
She sees the necessity for me being in that household.
Yeah.
She sees what I bring, so
she sees her work.
You see, like I tell you, man, you always bring up some good points, man.
So I just want to point that out. I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. I'm not saying women. Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. What I'm saying is that it's a difference that y'all might not think about. That y'all might not see.
Probably not. Because I showed her in between. Okay, like I said, the marriages.
No, I'm saying I understand you. No, we're not on you. Like we're not focusing on you and what you did. We're focusing on. I'm talking about women that are single mothers that maybe say this to their daughters, and their daughters don't see men around at all, or they see their mothers in and out relationships, and the men, whatever go on with their mothers and the men. It leaves a nasty, negative taste. So they take that information as, I don't need a man. And like I said, in our community, we're not worried about no other community. I'm talking about in our community, right? Yeah. And that's what it looks like. I'm just saying that that's how it's going to be portrayed to a child looking at that.
Yeah.
It's going to be taken totally different. It's the same words y'all saying, but it's going to be taken two different ways.
In two different environments.
So that's what I want to say. Now I'm going to get to this. Like, black men marry interracially way more than black women. That's something that needs to be addressed, but not by women who just want to mock black men. We can address that at a later show. We can address that later show. But black men marry black women 80-something% of the times. So it's not. Yeah, they do it more than black women, but I want black women to know that it's not the majority of black men that marry out.
And it's a reason men marry interracially more than women. But we'll get into that.
We're getting at another show. Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked. So so the last woman, and Yvonne, I'm glad you said what you said about how the women, your sisters, like, were abused in the household, whatever. That's a perfect segue into the last woman I have for this that I had on that video, right? The last one I had on the video was Alice Walker.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Alice Walker?
Yeah.
What was Alice Walker responsible for, Yvonne?
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you, but I remember her. Now look, I don't.
Her most famous work.
70s, I can't remember everything no more. Now,
go ahead and look it up.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, here it is. She was an activist as well. Personal woman too.
What's the most famous thing she's known for?
Novelist, short story writer, poems, social activist. That's all it says.
There you go, Ashley. Thank you, Ash. She wrote The Color Purple.
Color Purple. Oh yeah.
She wrote The Color Purple.
That's
Okay,
true. That's true.
So let me talk about Miss Walker, right? Yes, it happened. What you're saying, you experienced that, Yvonne, with your sister. You experienced that. I'm gonna tell you, and it's well written, and the movie was great, right? It was all that, but I'm gonna tell you, like we said, there's some good that people do, and they have other, consequences to what happened. What happened with Miss Walker was the same thing that happened when they did The First Birth of a Nation, right? The movie done by the Ku Klux Klan. It painted black men as being evil, rapists, whatever. It gave our ethnic image something nefarious, dark. We already dark. I'm already dark as hell, right? I'm already dark. I don't need no extra help being looked at as being dark. Miss Walker with The Color Purple, she made a lot of money, but what she did, she
took our problems and brought it to the world and said, "This is who
black men are.
This is who we are."
Not even the world. Forget the world. I don't care, because they already look at it as bad. Forget that. Every woman that comes along and looks at that, right? Every black woman that comes along and look at that, we have to fight the fact that we're not Mr. in The Color Purple.
Yep.
And she was a lesbian. I didn't know that. Don't care. I
didn't know that either.
I don't care about that. But
yeah, I
don't care. I don't care about that. But I'm just saying, this is the unintended effects or consequences that movie had on us. Just like whenever you see, like on the news, when you see them and a black man is the victim, you see what they do to them, right?
Yep. That's
in media. That matters. People don't understand. They don't think that matters, but the way we are seen in media matters a lot, because, like I said, what about a young girl who never had a dad in the household, never had a brother that she loved, never had uncles that whatever, only had mother and her or whatever, and they see A Color Purple and they said, "Oh, yeah, men are evil."
Yeah, and she wrote that for entertainment, I'm sure. And
it happened. No, it happened back in the day. It happened.
It happened, but you can't take one household and say this was every household. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point of writing a novel is to entertain, to get people to buy the book first, and then to entertain, to keep your attention, and to get a snippet of what story she was trying to tell.
But what I'm gonna say about that too is that the people involved with that, the white folks involved with that, had no problem putting that out. No problem putting it out. Why? Because it serves the purpose. It serves the purpose that they always had. They've always had
the narrative they
already
had.
They always had. I'm saying it serves the purpose that they already had.
This is what I thought all the time.
The undermining of the black family. It serves a purpose. Like we said, go back to nature. There's no place where you put a woman above the man in nature. There's no place where the woman is protecting the man. The woman is the dominant species out the man. There's no place in nature that happens. Well, I'm lying. I'm lying. The Black Widow.
Let's leave it to mammals.
Oh yeah, mammals. No mammal in nature. They have insects that eat their praying mantis thing. They're insects that eat their men after they have sex with them. They're evil females.
They close the door.
Oh Lord, Jesus! Are we into y'all little time or something? I can quit this.
My audience does not granddaughter is making a smoothie, and he opened the kitchen door, and she's doing a smoothie. That's why I was telling the noise. I didn't want to disturb y'all.
Yeah, but that's the unintended consequence, and that's what I want to point out. It's something that she made a lot of money off of, and it's very entertaining, but the way it looks on black men, it doesn't look well on us. No, it doesn't have a good.
Okay, I understand I understand why you're saying what you're saying, but so much of that was true.
Okay,
we love to party. Okay, go to a juke joint party back then. And no, not just back then.
No, we like to do it now. It always happens.
I'm from Louisiana too.
But guess who was in that juke joint as to why we went? We went there by ourselves. It wasn't just a bunch of men in there.
No.
Loose women. I was married now.
No, wait a minute.
Loose women.
No, I'm just saying some of that was really true. I'm from Louisiana. I got a partying darn family. They can party off of everything. I mean, COVID didn't stop them, but thank God none of them died.
Yeah.
But
that
some
goes
of the
back
stuff she had in there really that it was true, Willie. I mean, I know
No,
what
I'm
you're
not.
saying.
I'm not saying it wasn't true. I'm
Yeah,
not saying. What I'm saying is that there's
I
other
know.
things that happen on the back end that women don't really see, right? But we feel it. Understand?
Yeah.
We as black men feel this.
Yeah.
We feel the fact that when we go up to a black woman, and I might speak to a black woman, not trying to hit on her. Hey, how you doing, sister? Whatever, whatever. Open door, whatever. We see the way they look at us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the looks. We see the negative, like just the body language. Like, oh, you ain't nobody. Like, oh, who is it? Like, I've seen that. We experienced this out in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Versus you go talk to somebody else of another ethnic race, and they're all smiles. Like,
oh yeah,
I work in Buckhead. I work in different areas, and I deal with us.
Now see, it's I think
I deal with us, and I deal with other races all day long, and it's a difference, and that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to point out.
But that's different personalities too, though, Willie.
Mm.
Because I really try to be.
Role, but
I'm going to say
I think that's a different dynamic. What you're talking about, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to work those same areas, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so personality plays a part, but for most part, right? There's somebody we watch, content creator, not gonna say his name, but he has women on all day long, right? And even the women say smiling at a black man is an issue, right? They don't smile at black men. It's like I don't know why, but they don't want to do it. Like they maybe they're scared a black man is gonna do something or come at them, but just to be friendly, just to be cordial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be cordial. And that's all I'm getting at, right?
I'm just gonna go to the. I'm not
state. I mean, you could give a little snippet.
I guess I think today's age, the way things are working now, and I hate to use words like thirsty and all that stuff, but
no, that's what they
everybody's getting this level of attention that everybody wasn't always getting. You had to be a certain, fall into a certain category to get the attention, and now everybody's getting at it, and they overrate, I don't want to say overvalue themselves, but
you're talking about women, or
yes,
okay, right.
And so, like you said, you speak to them, and they assume
that could be part of it too.
They assume that you're trying to hook up.
That could be part of it. The fact that
But in reality, that's just the way I was raised. You go into a room, you speak when you come into a room.
That's right.
But now it's being taken another way, and I guess that got a lot to do with how they were raised. The environment they're used to. You don't speak to people that you don't know because you hear that a lot about strangers and all that. But it got to the point. I think I might have talked about this before. Where I was questioning changing who I was to fit in, but I can't do that. I can't let the actions of, I'm gonna say many change. How I interact with people, because people are different. And I get that from a particular race of women. It's not all of them.
No, but the crazy thing about that, right? After that live, whatever that I'm referring to, right after that live, I want to say the next week or something, I was in Buckhead doing something, and a black woman, hey, how you doing? And I'm like,
she must have saw it.
What the hell? Like, I mean, and then another black, I'm like, okay, what the
I'm telling you, but that's a real thing. But I think it's twofold. I think it's multiple things that feed, and I don't want to get out too far off topic, but I think like it's a lot to feed into.
What I'm saying is that just looking at us like the enemy. That's right. My overall overarching point.
Not even the enemy. In many cases, like worthless.
Not worth. Yeah. Not worth the time, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that's my point. Like, my overarching point is that it's like disdain for men, like for black men. It's like a disdain for black men. And like I said, like we were saying, black women had their own thing. They had their own thing. They were fighting for equal rights. They were fighting for everything. Like I pointed out, prior to the white feminist movement.
You're gonna have people with how should I say, different priorities or different ways of looking at men,
Absolutely.
women especially. Well, you guys got, that's a standard y'all want to keep.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it has to be the top. I mean, well, everybody have a certain standard that they're looking for in a man, okay, or a woman, both ways. Just to give you a prime example, when I was younger, I had a friend. We were out.
She didn't look. Something that hit her. She thought, "Oh, I can't tell that part."
I better not say everything.
I can't
but
tell
anyway.
that part. Hold on. Let me see.
Close the door.
Look, I'm here to tell you, talking about setting a standard, man. But again, that person is single and has been single for over 30 some years because of her quote unquote standard of so high. She doesn't have a person in her life. Okay. And now they're at an age where they really would just like company or conversation. You know what I mean? So you have to watch the things that you set your standards for. My thing is, long as a person, well, I ain't gonna bring all that up, but anyway,
because we get another topic and about relationships and interpersonal. I'm not talking about.
But I mean,
interpersonal
standard, Willie. You was talking about how the women look at you and may not say nothing.
But see,
it's not about
had nothing to do with their standard. It's the fact that
being cordial has nothing to do with standards.
Right.
Exactly. I agree.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just being cordial. I'm not saying I try to holler at them. I agree
with that.
Yeah, like a human being. That's what I'm talking about. Like I said this story before, for everybody that's new here, this is something that happened. Until I went to Canada, until I went to Toronto, right? And I talked to people in Toronto, I didn't know how much oppression I felt just walking around every day until I was validated by somebody in Canada. Be like, hey, why they treat y'all black men like that? And I'm like, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, and I was drinking, so I had to stop. I'm like, hold on. What exactly are you talking about, right? Because I'm not understanding like
not at 4 o'clock a.m.
4 o'clock in the morning,
right?
yes, 4 o'clock in the morning in a taxi, in a cab.
Oh wow!
And we had a 30-minute conversation. Yeah, we see y'all treat men like they ain't nothing. They don't treat men like that over there in Canada. Black men are they want black men over there, right? I went on a plane over there. No lie, I was like in the back of the plane. The plane was half full. Woman came, sat right behind me, and was just sitting there looking at me. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? I'm not about to steal nothing.
Had a stalker.
No, but that's the whole thing. When you get looked at it in the United States, you get looked at it at like that. You they think you're doing something. You feel like, okay, let me act non-threatening, right? Versus I was in Little China over there, and everybody, hey, how you doing? I'm the tallest and darkest thing out there, and everybody's so nice. I'm like, wow, like. Here, you feel like nobody. Like you feel like sometimes as a black man, you feel less than nobody when you're dealing with your own people. Specifically, interaction with our sisters.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's because, like I said, that's why I want to point out this critical relationship thing, because where they build it on in their mind that it is, it's because men left the women.
I think that's part of it, but I think it's some other chapters to that book as well.
Okay.
But
you write the other chapters. We're gonna talk about it. How about that? I'm just saying. No, what I'm saying. You come up with whatever your point, and we'll talk about it in another show, and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But Willie, also, women are so accustomed to doing everything. I'm just saying, the ones that are single, because it's quite a few single women who have children who are doing it all. So they are so accustomed to doing it all. Say, for instance, like me, the 12 years I was by myself, right? So I had to make sure everything was done. I had to pray, and I had to catch myself even after your father and I married, because I was so accustomed to me taking, doing everything. I didn't step back enough, even though I had somewhat prayed, asked God to help me to be ready to receive the man that he put in my life, was because I'm still taking control. Now I got the man, and I didn't release enough of that control when we first got married because I was just so accustomed to doing it, getting this taken care of. That, I'm not the type of person that lets something linger. And when I used to tell your dad, babe, we need to do this or blah, blah, blah. If he didn't do it or have it done within 2 weeks, guess what? I did it. I had it done. And I knew it was wrong because we would have a disagreement to that. But it gets to a point, and your topic is the reason why, I keep bringing up little things.
No, it's
Is
cool.
because women are so accustomed to having things taken, doing the things that they need to do before they get the man, until it's hard. Sometimes you have to adjust, and it's hard to step back to let the man be a man.
I think in your instance, though, that's more of a habit.
Yes.
You've gotten used to it. 12 years of doing anything, it's
Right.
hard to change that.
Yeah.
The problem is we are raising women with that mindset.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one thing when you put in a situation, okay, this is all on me, but to start off,
And
I don't need
that mindset.
Nobody. Then that is the problem, in my opinion.
So because you're an elder in our community, not saying you're old, but you're elder in the community of a lot of the women.
I'm old, baby. I don't mind. Go ahead.
The women that could be listening, right? I lost my train. Because you're elder, right? You were saying about, you not relinquishing, power, whatever. Submissive. Let's talk about that for a quick second, because that's something that's big in our community. You say that to a black woman, it's like, okay, you didn't cussed out. You didn't cussed out.
That's deadly.
Okay, your take on submit.
Go ahead, Eric.
Are you submissive, Yvonne?
Well, she said relinquish power, so that's
right.
That's part of submission.
But I didn't know. See, that's the thing. You still, no matter how much you try, you still have that in you, because like you said, I did it for so long. And you want to know, baby, am I submissive?
I think we have our answer.
I'm talking to you. Does that answer your question?
He ain't worry about you.
He's eating ice cream.
But I mean, I'm saying during a relationship, do you think that's important? That's an important thing.
It is. It's very important. Honest to goodness, it is, and it is biblical. That's for sure. It's biblical, but I'm not gonna tell you all the time. Say to you that I am submissive at all times, and that's truly being honest. There are times when I'm not, but I have learned over time that when I'm not submissive, and he comes to me with his, questions or conversation or saying something, and I know he's angry about it, we have learned over time not to scream and yell at each other. We've gotten to the point, thank you, Lord, because we've been there. I've been to the point I think a vein was popping up sometime, you know what I mean? But over time, you learn that you can talk about things and discuss them. And I'm going to be honest with you. I had to learn to just say, okay, honey, and leave it alone. And he has done the same thing for me. So I think you can say submissive can be both ways, because we've learned how to just say what I said. So, okay. And we leave it alone, and then we'll pick it up and we'll come to an agreement later, So, no, I have not been submissive always. And I'm still not submissive always. Not that I'm trying not to be. I try sometimes, but it just don't happen.
Just gotta be in you.
So you mentioned your friend, okay?
Yes.
Let's talk
and for the young ladies that might look at this, right? Is that a real thing about and I'm going to say this: not working with a man, not being able to successfully work with a man, looking at a man as being an enemy. Do you think that's a good thing to be up in age, however age? I don't know how old she is, but having high standards and not working with a man. Do you think that's a good thing?
Me?
As a woman, yes, as a woman, I'm saying.
No, but you do have some women look at how a man dress. Some women look at how a man looks. Um, it's more of the outward appearance that men have that some women look at. I look at a person's heart and how they treat me and how they treat their families. And you can always change the outer look. Okay, you can put some Italian shoes on a person, because that was one of the things one time. You can put expensive clothes on a person. You can, but their heart and the way they think toward you, to me, that's the most important thing. I look at how a person care about their family. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I met your dad, he wasn't on my level to me at that time.
That's why I started laughing. I knew it was coming.
Was that what you just said? He what?
He wasn't at that time. He had to take care of his kids. He had kids he had to take care of, and I understood that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. That is what drew me to him, because how he wanted to be there with the kids and how he really did everything he could for his children. And I looked at all of that, and that meant a lot to me, that he was struggling at that time because he was trying to go to school, work, and maintain his place, as well as maintain, where they were raised up at, their home and everything. And that meant a lot to me to see him do that. He was really struggling. I would have never thought I would have dated someone that was struggling, honestly. But I looked at his heart. Seriously, I did. I looked at his heart. And financially, he was nowhere near a man that I have dated before. Nowhere. Okay.
You answered my question then.
But again, if you're going to look at spending a lifetime with a person, I saw his goal when he told me he went to nursing school so he could be able to do things for me. That touched my heart right there, because he had to struggle between working a full-time job and going to nursing school. That was hard. And that meant a lot. I could see we had a future together once he finished school and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people would have just looked at him as, oh, he ain't got nothing, which at the time he didn't have nothing, But one thing I can say, he never, ever expected me to do anything for him, and of course can I say this quietly?
Okay, we listen.
I never had nobody to take me on my first date to the Pizza Hut.
That's honorable.
Hey,
but wait a minute.
It's not the pizza of the day. Pizza back then was good.
Best he could do.
Tablecloths and
That was the best he could do at that time. We laugh about it now.
The leather-like tablecloth. The red and white leather-like tablecloth.
But we laugh at it now, Eric. We do. We laugh at it now, because I tell him I ain't never had nobody take me on my first date to no Pizza Hut.
That's noble.
No, we didn't. But that's I didn't have to pay for the meal, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Well, see, and most women want the finished product. It's not a lot of women today
True.
who's gonna even, if he's still in school trying to become something, they're gonna look the other way.
He started it after we started talking, because he said he knew he couldn't afford to even take me out to dinner at that time.
Right.
So that said a lot,
Okay. But yeah, you were willing to meet him where he was and then carry on with him to where he is now. So It's just a lot of women not willing to do that.
Yeah.
Well, my question was actually because we went around. Well, my question was actually like, do you suggest a woman, a young lady, try to do it by herself? Do you suggest that that's the way to go? Seeing where you are at today and seeing where your friend is at. do you suggest, because like I said, you're one of the elders and you've seen different stages, and it's where we all got to be one day, where all these younger ladies got to go. Do you suggest that for any woman, if she can find a man to partner with, that she do it by herself?
Well, that depends on circumstances as well. Okay. She have to do it by herself if she have her kids and the man isn't around. Okay. I don't believe in.
Yeah, I'm not talking. Yeah, we know.
Okay.
We not going. We not telling them to lay down and not do for their kids. Yes.
All right. Okay.
I'm saying,
okay.
being if you can find a man, I'm saying, because like I said, we're trying to combat the thing about,
we talking pre-children.
Yeah, not, it could be children too, but we're trying to combat the thing of that men don't have any worth, and the way they look at men, right? That they don't see the worth in a man unless he has an absorbent amount of money and he can do whatever. Like, and you told your story, and that fit perfectly in that narrative. But I'm saying, do you suggest that a young lady work with a man? Or it's better to be by herself?
I'm gonna say it really depends on the individual, Willie.
Okay.
I would suggest that you can look at a situation with a male, and if you can see where you can have a future together, work toward that. I'm like this. I had fallen in love with your dad, and
I wish I had sound effects. Dang. That's the next thing I work on. Get sound effects over here.
Sweet.
And how should I put this for you? Okay. If that's what she want to do. Now, you have some women don't want to deal with a man unless he's already at his level of where he's going to be for life, because this is where she wants to be. It really depends on the individual. If that's what she wants, go for it. But otherwise, just try to look at what your future could be with the individual. If he's a person to his word, now, you got a lot of people that do a lot of talking, you know what I mean? But if he's a person to his word and you see that you can work toward something together, I would say yes, try to do that. But again, it depends on the individual as far as the female, and it definitely depends on the type of man. If she's not getting what she wants, okay.
Which
She's
one?
either gonna be alone or she'll work it out one way or the other.
So which one you think has the greatest chance for success?
Working together.
Absolutely.
Oh, and also I'm going. So my overall point, you said what you said, and that's the individual view on it.
Yes.
But from a community standpoint,
From a community, I would say let's try to work together.
And that's what I was trying to ask. I'm sorry, I didn't put that in.
Okay.
Keep going back to your friend, but do you think she regrets some of the decisions she's made now, later in life, when because everybody wants to be, it's just human nature to want to be with someone?
Well, to me, I would say yes, but I'm quite sure she would never admit to that.
Oh no, you can't admit to that.
Yeah, but
yeah,
but
I think
that's a problem with us too. I mean, we don't want to admit
we're wrong.
Our negatives, our bads.
Yeah,
we don't.
That's true.
We're human. Why do we look at ourselves that we can't be human?
Yes.
It's a learning opportunity whenever you're wrong.
Yeah.
So.
But I say this all the time. Relationships, whether it's with a friend, just a friend, or a spouse, or a relationship, man and woman, it's work no matter however you look at it. You cannot nicky pick everything. You're going to have to disagree, agree, and as my husband and I have said to each other, we got to compromise. You got to compromise to make it work. And when we're younger, we don't see it at that time, but you're going to have plenty ups, plenty downs, and that's just the way it is. But if you still have the love for one another, then it'll work through it. It'll work through.
Yeah, pick love, y'all. Just everybody, just pick love.
Well, y'all don't want to hear me talk about love.
You have no points because I didn't. Gotcha. You have any?
Y'all believe? I have a question right quick because I know we're getting ready to end.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're getting ready to end. Do you believe that you can fall in love and fall out of love several times in a relationship?
Yes. Yeah.
Wait a minute. What'd you say, Eric?
I don't know. I mean, see, now we're getting into semantics. What is falling in love? What explain to me what you mean when you say fall in love.
Meaning with the same, you mean it with the same person, right?
Talking about
with the same person. That's what I'm talking
about. How do you fall in love?
Because there are going to be times. Okay,
love is
how long you been married, Eric?
Love is a choice. Yeah.
How long you been married?
Oh, why you ask me that? Let me see. You carry the one.
Oh, jeez.
It'll be 20 years in June of next year.
20 years.
Love is a choice, and you have to do something every day. Whenever you get to that point, you have to remember the other times. You have to do something, actively do something to keep it together.
Well, see, I come from a different school when it comes to that. I think love will bring you together.
Yeah,
but that's not what's going to keep you together. I'm strong believer. Love does not keep you together. I tell everybody, I said, you want to be liked more than you want to be loved in a relationship. Nobody kills anyone they like, but I hear people killing the name of love all the time.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that kind of love.
I know what you're saying, but
she's talking about agape love. That's what she's talking about, agape love.
But that's why that's why I said it. You know, my whole idea of love and relationship is completely different from the majority of people. I think because I think love can bring you together.
Yes.
And you do certain things for people that you love, but it takes more than love to have a successful relationship, a lasting relationship. It like you said, compromise. It takes compromise. It takes some submission. It takes a lot of submission, Yvonne. But you know, love just gets you to
everyday actions, and that's the thing people don't understand. Everyday actions, like it's getting up in the morning. Every day, looking at that person and saying, okay, this is the person I'm with. I choose to be with this person every day. And I'm doing this because of this person. Yeah, and they got to do the same thing for you.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a comedian.
Because, you know, even though I might be, well, not now, but years ago when I used to really get upset with my husband, I still cooked and put his food on the table. I did that out of respect of him being my husband. You understand what I'm saying? But there were times I didn't want to cook for that sucker.
Right? And that's called duty. And people don't know anything about duty. That's what you call duty.
You heard what you said. You didn't say you did it out of love. You said you did it out of respect for him.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it takes so much more than love. Love gets you to the table, but then you got to have all these other things in order to carry you through that. Because you know, I told my wife the other day, you know, I'm gonna love you forever. Now I don't know where we're gonna end up, you know, in another 20 years, but I will always love you. But that doesn't mean, you know, we're gonna be together.
We can be there, yeah.
You know,
you can love somebody and not be with them.
And not be with them. I tell all the time, it's more important that I like you than I love you, because my love is there. But if I like you, you know, I'm taking you out. I'm gonna be around all the time. I'm gonna hang around. Hey, babe, how you doing? You know, let's go do this. You know, but if I don't like you, you know, I come home,
kick the dog,
right? But you know, that's a terrible situation to be in. So I think a lot of us we get caught up in the fairy tale, the fantasy, love, when it's so much more. I think being liked is way more important than being loved. Way more.
But you know, most couples forget what really kept them so in love with each other. We get to working so, and that's the honest truth. We work so much until we don't take the time to truly have romantic getaways and doing little special things. I don't really, that's important, guys.
It is.
To a woman.
Or build a bond. I mean, it don't even have to be getaway. Just building bonds. Just taking a moment.
You know?
It's very common in marriages when kids come along.
Oh yeah, strain that bond.
The bond is strained because it's just out of nature. The mother's going to devote her time to her children. That's just
and
natural.
Lose focus on her husband.
That's just what. That's that natural instinct. She if you don't tell her that she's doing it, she's not going to look she's not going to look at it.
Yeah.
And that's just nature. You know, it's nothing you can, it's nothing you can do about it.
But if you, as
it's
the
not
man,
intentional either.
It's not intentional. It's not malicious or anything like that. But you have to, hey, look, babe, I'm still here. I gave you them kids. You know, I brought that life into you. You know, so
But if you would plan something, I promise you, she wouldn't mind at all. Okay, that's just the thing. It's anyway. Okay,
I'm gonna read Toya's response. Her comment is late because I think it's like a lag or something.
Okay.
But it was to something you were saying. A lot of women have betrayal trauma from being in a relationship with users, then try to protect themselves by only dating men who are absolutely financially secure, which is ineffective. But it's a way to protect themselves. I think more women need support in learning how to meet a man where he is while evading financial abuse.
Yeah.
That term came up again. We talked about this Sunday. We got a whole big, me, Nicole, and my cousin got a whole big thing about financial abuse. I'm not going back. We'll talk later. I'm not going to that because I don't want to do. We'll talk later. Yes, it's 10 o'clock. Dr. Toya is the doctor right there. Dr. Toya, do you think I'm crazy and I disrespect women? Just put it real quick. She's been knowing me for 20 years. Anyway, just message her. She might answer. It's not. But anyway, I appreciate you, Yvonne.
Oh no, it's been good conversation. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to have you back on because you like to know. Okay, because you like to get deep. You help us with.
Well, the thing about it, Eric.
Doctor said no. I'm not crazy. Thank you, Dr. Toya.
What is yes said?
What is absolutely not.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Toya.
People don't like to be open and truthful, Eric, is what I find. A lot of people just don't want to be honest and truthful.
That's people in general. Yeah, you're right. But that's people in general.
But I mean, if whatever you can say about your life that can help somebody else, why not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why not? That's my thing. And the truth is the truth. I'm at the point of my life. I don't feel ashamed of nothing that has happened in my life because everything has been a growing, I've grown from all of those things.
That takes maturity though. And when you can wear it on your sleeve and show people how it made you better in the end. Right. So
that's really all we got. Think about this. Back in the day, if all them people back in the Black Power movement, the civil rights movement didn't do what they did, we wouldn't be here right now. They knew they had work to do and they did the work, right? We're not doing anything.
Well,
we're doing it for ourselves. No, I'm saying
that's why everything is going backwards.
Thank you. And that's the point. We're doing it for ourselves and we have work to do. We need to start with, once again, relationships. We need to start there. That's where it needs to start.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate everybody being on this 2-hour live. I know it's been long, but
it's been long. But we talked. I mean, I've enjoyed it. It was good conversation.
We need to, and men and women, Black men and women, we need to come have these conversations more.
Yeah.
Be uncomfortable, talk about things, and get more understanding from each other. Understand that we are not the enemy. Right. There's a quote. I'm gonna mess it up. I know I'm messing it up because whatever. But it's basically like, for Black men, women are not the enemy, and Black women, men are not the enemy. What's the enemy is misinformation.
Yeah.
That's the enemy. And we've been dealing this whole time in this country. We've been dealing with misinformation. That's why we're at each other's throats.
But like Dr. LaToya said, a lot of times we as women feel the way we do because of previous relationships. Okay. And that's true. What she said is really true.
We're about to go down a rabbit. Okay.
Hang up that phone.
No, what you're saying, Yvonne, and I'm gonna say this for the people, whatever. Okay. But that is not Black men's fault, right? It's not Black men's fault. If you know that, it's on you to fix yourself before you come to a Black man, and vice versa, right? If a Black man has been traumatized by a Black woman, it's on him to fix himself before you go deal with other people and end up causing trauma in other people. And the cycle keeps continuing. Yeah. So, people try to put it on the other person,
and it's them.
And it's actually them.
You have to recognize
we gonna end this session.
Yeah, let's end it.
But y'all know, as men, Black men will not go and be counseled, have any type of therapy to try to help themselves.
And it's true. But you know what you do, Yvonne?
True.
But you know what you do, Yvonne?
Don't deal with it.
You know what you do?
What?
Don't deal with those Negroes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, it's like, if you're in a good place, and I say that because of what you said, right? But if you're in a good place and you don't have those traumas, then don't deal with anybody, because women, y'all pick who to deal with. We can't just grab you by your hair anymore and drag you into the cave.
But that's why you have to walk away.
Y'all
And
have the
that's true.
y'all have the choice.
Yeah.
Y'all have the choice
That's
to
true.
matter.
That's
So
very true.
y'all have that power.
Yes.
You know.
Let's not let them off the hook though. It's plenty of women walking around with
No,
this
I'm not
same-
letting them because I already said. I already
Hold on,
addressed that.
Eric.
I already
Hold
addressed
on,
it.
Eric.
No,
You know,
no, I already addressed that when I said, you know, that's on the woman to fix that trauma. It's not on the man to fix her. It's not on the man to do that. You know,
not on the man to fix her, but you guys need fixing too.
Yeah,
But
everybody.
No.
Everybody
In your scenario, Yvonne, you said the reason why women do what they do
Mhm.
is because they've had trauma from previous relationships.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that the man coming along after this trauma is not his responsibility.
He
What I'm
shouldn't
saying.
have to endure that
Right.
from.
And that's what I'm saying. Vice versa. If a man has that type of trauma and a woman is coming along after it, it's not for her to fix his trauma. It's for him to fix himself before you start dealing with women. And that's what I'm saying.
So many people look at having therapy as the wrong way. They, you know, it's a stamina that you're crazy if you go to therapy. That's crazy. Well, you really are crazy.
Well, I mean, you're off.
Though.
No, not to say crazy. You're off. Everybody gets off. Sometimes you need to be tweaked. When your car is off, the timing is off. You don't throw the car away. You go get tweaked. And you go, you go put it back on the road.
But you know, when I went through some things, I personally went to therapy for like 18 months because I did not want to carry over something that I had dealt with to the next person that may come along in my life. But you don't have too many people that think that way. They think ain't nothing wrong with them.
I think now it's becoming more.
It's become more popular to do that.
But you're right. For a long time,
I have a niece who have 14 therapists. She has in California. She has 14 therapists in her 2 offices. She's a psychologist. And can I tell you, I was talking to my niece who works for her. She has 200 and some people on a waiting list, guys. I mean, you're right. So many people are taking advantage of that now. And they need it. Believe me.
We all need it.
Huh?
I was saying we all need therapy of some sort.
But people now are doing it more.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna say good night to y'all.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you coming through.
I know I've enjoyed the conversation.
We're all raised through trauma, so that's why we all need it, because in this country we've all been traumatized. Last word is Dr. Toya. She says we all have health. We all have health issues, whether it's medical or mental, and we all need to go to the doctor. Appreciate you, Dr. Toya. All right.
So true. Thank you, guys.
All right, Vaughn. Appreciate you.
Y'all have a good one, okay?
All right, good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, brother. You got any final words?
I don't. I enjoyed the show. That was good. 2 hours.
Next week, y'all, we're gonna talk about son husbands. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna get y'all a good video, good visual for son husbands, and we're gonna talk about this next week. Yeah, no, we're gonna talk about stuff. Also, at the bottom, you see that YouTube channel, Black Male Podcast, BLACKMALED Podcast. Go check us out. Subscribe. Come January, we're not gonna be on Facebook anymore. We're coming away from Facebook, going to YouTube. So if you like the content, hey, check us out. Subscribe. Like I said, appreciate y'all coming through, rocking with us. You have a good night.
Good night.
All right.
It's just
love each other.
Just love on each other.
All right, peace.